All right, so I have a little problem with telling stories. And really, I don't know, the main problem with telling stories is that, like, people tend to not believe your stories. So this one time we were out, family, we went to the movies, and, you know, these people go that way, these people stay behind, and I was getting a soda and some candy, a bag of Reese's Pieces, I believe. And I'm carrying the soda, like, by the lid, which is not a good idea why, and you'll see why in a second. But I'm carrying the candy and I'm carrying my soda, and I'm walking down the hall, and I hear that little like click pop noise, and I'm like, oh crap. So I like tried to do something with the soda, but the lid just popped right off. So I'm holding the lid in this hand while the soda is just falling towards the ground. Now, without missing a beat, I swooped my other hand under there and caught the soda on the bag of Reese's, right? So I'm just standing there like this, and I'm just like, nobody was around me to see it. Not a single person. Just dropped my candy. Not a single person was around to see it. And of course, I go and I say, dudes, you will never guess what just happened. And what do they say? Well, they're kind of like, oh, yeah, okay, whatever. But, I mean, really? How many people do you know who say, oh, I totally did this really super awesome thing, but nobody was around to see it? Do you instantly go, oh, cool? No, you go, oh, really? Nobody was around to see it, huh? Okay then. And that's one of the problems I have with telling stories. But the bigger problem I have is, why not believe me? Like, it doesn't make any sense. I walk in and I say, dude, I was holding the thing and the lid fell off, and I went, boom, and I caught it in the other hand. Oh, isn't that so cool? Like, and then to not believe that story, like if I was going to make up a story. So I was with my friends at the movie theater, and I thought to myself, I'm going to get something to eat. So I grabbed myself a soda and a bag of Reese's Pieces. As I was walking to the theater, to my theater, I noticed this woman. She had her back to me, but she was carrying a little baby. And the baby was being very jumpy. It was kind of odd, but, you know, that's fine. As I neared them, though, the baby was, like, really being jumpy, and I started getting scared. I thought, what if this baby jumps out of this woman's arms? So as I get closer, the worst happens. This baby leaps for it. He just takes off. And not a second to think, I just acted on instinct. I threw the candy onto the ground, and I dropped the soda right on top of it, cradling the soda perfectly, catching it. And then I grabbed one of those sparkly vampires off the wall, threw him onto the ground, and jumped. I did a 180 in the air, landing on my back, used a foot to push myself, scoot across the floor, and catch the baby in my arms. He was just like cooing, like, oh, woo-hoo, and I was like, oh, it was precious. And then a katana came flying at my head. I swerved to the side and then rolled backwards, cradling the baby in my arms as the katana went right where my feet were. And then I noticed it's the woman who was holding the baby. She has this katana out and she's slicing for me, and I'm ducking and I'm holding on to this baby. And then I pull out my katana and I'm like, ching, ching, ching. We're just fighting along and everything's ching, ching. People are staring and going, ah! And I'm just ching, ching. And then she slashes my katana over that way. I slash her katana over that way. She slashes it back. We get really close and locked in. And she looks me dead in the eyes and goes, don't be late next time. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, honey. The guy behind the counter, he couldn't break a 20. These kids these days, you know. So if I was going to make up a story, why wouldn't I make up a story like that? Why would I say, oh, I dropped my soda and I caught it, isn't that cool? Why would I stop there? If I'm going to make up a story, something so outlandish that you probably shouldn't believe, shouldn't it be outlandish? Something that you probably shouldn't believe? Why not believe just my normal everyday story? So that's part of the problem that I have with telling stories or telling people of like things that I did, because they tend not to believe you, but also at the same time, they tend to believe really stupid things that they find on the internet. Wait, am I becoming a stupid thing on the internet? I don't really like how I told that story, but there's no way I could have read it, fit it all into my teleprompter, my homemade teleprompter, which is way too small, but also it's kind of cute. I like it. Anyway.